The rain had been falling all afternoon, washing the dust off the small mountain town of Greystone. Tom Reed, a 37-year-old mechanic and single father, stood outside his garage, rolling down the shutter for the night. His hands were stained with grease, his back sore, and his mind already drifting to the thought of helping his daughter with her homework. He had almost locked up when he heard it, a distant roar that didn't belong in their quiet valley. The sound grew louder until it echoed through the mist, and then he saw it. A helicopter, wobbling low over the trees, one rotor sputtering unevenly. Tom's heart jumped. "That thing's in trouble," he muttered. Moments later, a violent gust of air and the high-pitched whine of failing machinery filled the sky. The helicopter tilted, then dipped hard behind the ridge. There was a deep, muffled crash, followed by silence. Without thinking, Tom grabbed his flashlight and jacket, jumped into his truck, and tore up the muddy road that led to the old quarry. He found the wreckage half buried in the soft earth, the rotor blades bent like broken wings. Smoke rose in thin gray threads. Inside, a woman sat slumped over the controls, her face pale but conscious. "Hey, don't move," Tom called as he climbed onto the side and forced open the door. "You're lucky that thing didn't explode." Her eyes flicked up, dazed and sharp at once. "The controls jammed. I thought I could land it." Her voice trembled with exhaustion. "Let's get you out first," Tom said, reaching for her seatbelt. The metal latch was twisted. He grunted, yanked a wrench from his pocket, and said softly, "Don't worry. I can fix it." Within minutes, he pried it loose and helped her down to the ground. The woman stumbled, wincing, clutching her wrist. "You hurt." "It's just sprained. I've had worse." She tried to stand tall, but her designer coat was torn, and her hair, once sleek and perfect, was tangled with bits of rain and smoke. Tom led her toward his truck. "Come on. You need to warm up." As they drove back, she sat quietly, eyes fixed on the raindrops sliding across the window. Eventually she spoke. "You're not going to ask who I am?" He smiled faintly. "Would it matter?" For a moment, she looked like she didn't know how to answer that. At the garage, Tom handed her a mug of coffee and tossed her a blanket from the back seat. She watched him work as he checked the scratches on her wrist, his hands gentle despite their roughness. "I'm Tom," he said. "Reed. I fix engines for a living. That's my daughter, June. She's asleep upstairs." The woman hesitated before replying. "Lena Hart." The name clicked in his head a second later. Hart Industries. The tech giant. Billionaire. Rumors of scandal, of isolation after her company's latest invention caused a fatal accident. He didn't say anything. She noticed. "You've heard of me," she said quietly. "Yeah. Doesn't change anything." Her lips pressed together, a mixture of surprise and something close to relief. As the storm raged outside, they sat in the dim garage, the air smelling faintly of oil and rain. Lena began to talk, hesitant at first, then faster, like a dam breaking. About the company she built, the loss of control, the people she couldn't save. She had flown to Greystone alone to inspect one of the crash sites connected to her tech, desperate to understand what went wrong. "I keep trying to fix everything," she said, voice cracking. "But I can't seem to fix myself." Tom leaned against the workbench, watching her. "Maybe that's your problem. Machines, you can repair them piece by piece. People don't work that way. You don't fix them. You help them heal." She looked up at him, eyes shining in the weak light. "And you? What did you heal from?" Tom hesitated. "My wife passed 3 years ago. Car accident. June was 6. I tried fixing the car she died in for weeks after. Thought maybe if I understood what broke, I could stop hurting." He gave a sad smile. Didn't work. For the first time that night, Lena smiled too. By morning, the rain had stopped. Sunlight spilled through the cracked windows, lighting the tools scattered across the workbench. Lena stood by the open door, looking out at the mist lifting from the valley. A deep thrum cut through the silence. A new helicopter, this one sleek and black, descending onto the gravel road. Her security team, no doubt frantic after her disappearance. Tom walked her out, June holding his hand, still half asleep. Lena turned to him. "You saved my life last night." He shook his head. "You landed that bird. I just opened a jammed latch." She smiled softly. "You did more than that. You reminded me what matters." She crouched to June's level. "You've got a good dad, you know that?" June grinned shyly. "He fixes everything." Lena glanced up at Tom, eyes warm. "Yes. I can see that. As the rotors spun and the wind whipped through the air, she climbed aboard but hesitated at the door. Tom, maybe sometime you could come to the city. I could use someone who knows how to fix things the right way. He nodded, smiling. We'll see. The helicopter lifted, climbing into the clear blue sky until it vanished beyond the trees. Tom stood there with June, the morning sun on his face. She tugged his sleeve. Dad, you think she'll come back? He looked toward the horizon, where the sound had faded into quiet. I think, he said, she's finally learning how.